My mum and dad were away staying in London for the night after going to the theatre, so they agreed to let me have some friends sleep over to keep me company. I was 15 years old, and it was the first time my parents had left me in the house on my own overnight. Me and my friends had an enjoyable girly night, staying up late, talking, ordering pizza and listening to music. But not long after we settled down for the night, my cell phone rang. It was about midnight, and I thought it must be my parents again checking up on me. But when I looked at the screen, it said unknown number. I hesitantly answered the call, but there was no voice on the other end, just silence. Then my friend's phone rang, again with an unknown number on the screen, and when she answered it, there was just a male's voice, laughing. All three of us sat up wondering what was going on. Then my other friend's phone rang, again with an unknown number. We told her not to answer it. After she let it ring a while, a text message came up on my phone, which read, "You forgot to lock the back door." When I read it out loud, we all began to feel anxious. I couldn't remember if I had locked the back door or not, so all of us agreed to go down the stairs together to check. But about halfway down the stairs, my friend told me to ring back the number, and when I rang it, we had the fright of our lives. As soon as I pressed call back, a cell phone began ringing in the house downstairs. Somebody was in the house. One of my friends screamed, and we all ran back up the stairs to the bathroom where we locked the door. "Ring the police," my friend said shakily. I had dropped my phone on the stairs. My friends' phones were still in the bedroom. We stood still in the darkness. One of my friends was quietly crying. Then someone started violently banging on the other side of the bathroom door. We all started screaming and huddled together. Then the banging stopped, and we heard footsteps running back down the stairs. After a while, stood in silence, we plucked up the courage to leave the bathroom. My friends grabbed their phones from the bedroom and rang their parents. I crept silently to the top of the stairs and switched on the lights. I felt a cold draft and slowly walked down the stairs. Whoever it was gone and had left the back door wide open. This happened to me when I was a young kid. My parents every now and again would go out late on a Saturday night with my uncle and aunt. I would stay at my uncle's house with my cousin. We always had the same babysitter, a teenage girl named Marie. She was always nice to us, playing games, making sure we were fed, and that we brushed our teeth before we went to bed. She would even read us a bedtime story, and this particular night was no different to the others. After Marie had finished reading to us, she wished us good night and turned out the light, leaving the door slightly ajar with the hallway light on like we asked her to. And it wasn't long before we both fell asleep. But in the middle of the night, the sound of something breaking like a smashed bottle woke me from my sleep. I sat up in bed and looked over at my cousin, who was still sleeping. Then I walked out to the hallway, which was now in darkness. I checked my uncle's bedroom, but they weren't home yet. Then I heard more sounds, like someone rummaging in drawers and cupboards. I walked slowly to the top of the stairs, quietly calling out Marie's name. But when I looked down the stairs, a man was stood at the bottom, staring right back at me. I asked him nervously where Marie was, but he didn't answer. He just stood staring. Then another man came to the foot of the stairs. I quickly turned and ran back to the bedroom and woke my cousin. I told him that somebody was in the house and that we had to be quiet. We went to my uncle's bedroom and I told my cousin to get in the closet. I grabbed the telephone from the bedside table and stretched the wire out to the closet, closing the doors behind me. I was 8 years old. My cousin was 6. We sat in the closet with the doors closed, shaking with fear. We could hear the men quietly making their way up the stairs. My cousin started to cry, and I told him to be quiet. Then I dialed the police, and in a whispering voice told them there were strange men in the house. They said, "Don't move, be as quiet as you can," and they're on their way. In the darkness I could hear the floorboards creaking and low voices. I held my hand to my cousin's mouth to try and keep him quiet. Then came the sound of police vehicles wailing from outside with flashing lights, and I knew we were safe. Moments after the police found us, Marie returned to the house and broke down in tears. She had momentarily left the house to meet her boyfriend and had left the back door unlocked. This happened many years ago when I was about 10 or 11 years old. It was my best friend's birthday and my parents agreed to let me sleep over at his house. A bunch of friends had came over from school and we hung out in my friend's bedroom, kidding around and playing video games. But when it started getting dark, the other friends went home. My friend lived alone with his mum. He didn't have any siblings and his mum and dad were divorced, so I was kind of happy to sleep over and keep him company on his birthday. I slept on the floor in a sleeping bag next to his bed and we talked for a while. Then I guess we must have drifted off to sleep in the darkness. About midnight I was awoken by the sound of the bedroom door slowly opening. I opened my eyes and in the darkness I saw my friend's mum standing in the doorway. It looked like she was cradling something in her arms. For a few minutes she stood there, not saying a word. Then she walked slowly into the room. I closed my eyes, pretending to be asleep. Seconds later, I felt something being placed beside me. I just froze, wondering what the hell was going on. Then I heard the bedroom door gently close, so I opened my eyes. I screamed out in shock when I saw a dead bird lying next to me on my pillow, blood dripping from its body. My friend woke up and I told him what I saw. Then I put my clothes on and walked home in the middle of the night. The next day my friend apologised and explained everything about what happened. Apparently his mum was prone to sleepwalking, and their cat must have brought in the dead bird, and his mum, while sleepwalking, must have picked it up and laid it to rest on my pillow. We remained best friends and his mum couldn't apologise enough. But from then on, I always politely declined any invitation of a sleepover.